I think I've spent most of my adult life trying to learn how to make better decisions, how to solve problems, how to create new possibilities and opportunities, and how to move from information to knowledge to ultimately wisdom. And I think I have a long way to go. But there are a number of lessons that I've learned over the years, and I'm going to share them with you today with the hope that maybe these can help you in your journey toward wisdom, clear thinking, better problem solving, and decision making. The first one is that intelligence does not prevent blind spots. I have met some brilliant people, and they have accomplished some incredible things oftentimes. But what I've also learned is that people with the highest IQs are just as vulnerable to cognitive biases and blind spots as the rest of us. What this tells me is that if I want to be a clear thinker, whether my IQ is 100 or 150, there are certain habits that I need to cultivate, habits of the mind that help protect me against cognitive biases and logical fallacies and help lead me to clear decision making. The second is that confidence often precedes error. I've come across a lot of people, including myself, who've tricked themselves into believing that confidence is equal to correctness, and it's just not. Sometimes we're confident in things that we should be, and sometimes we're confident in things that we should not be. And the wisdom is in discerning between the two. It sounds easy, but in practice, it can be quite challenging because, again, those cognitive biases can get in the way, these blind spots can get in the way, and while things look really clear to us from our vantage point, there are other vantage points. And it's by taking the time to look at the topic from multiple vantage points that we begin to see the full picture. The third thing that I've noticed is that people often defend effort more than actual truth. I've talked about this in a number of other videos. There's one cognitive bias called the sunk cost fallacy, where people put so much time and effort and energy into something that it's really hard for them to let go of it, even when it's proving itself to be a failure or leading you in the wrong direction. The concept of sunk cost fallacy comes from the idea that a person spends a lot of money on something, and the thought, the emotional weight of thinking that all of that money is wasted and lost and gone is just too hard to accept. So people manufacture this false story that they're on the right track, they just need to try harder. It's just a matter of more and more effort. But the reality is, effort is not equal to truth. Sometimes you can work really hard and end up with something that fails and that's not true. Sometimes you don't work as hard and you end up with the truth. There's all sorts of combinations. The next one is that disagreement is a gift and that it can reveal assumptions faster than almost anything else. I used to be afraid of disagreement. It's not fun, it's uncomfortable when people are disagreeing, especially when they get very emotional about it. But if we can understand that disagreement is part of the process in the pursuit of truth, that disagreement can then become our friend. It's iron sharpening iron. It's two people coming together and their ideas clash. But in the process of clashing, if they can have the humility to learn from and listen to one another, they can actually get closer to the truth. They can come up with solutions and possibilities that would have been missed otherwise. So over the years, I have come to be an incredible fan of disagreement when tempered with courtesy, care, kindness. The next one is that I've noticed that good systems often trump brilliance. I've come across people who are incredibly smart, who have very high IQs, but they haven't refined the skills necessary to take full advantage of their brilliance. And then I've come across other people who maybe don't have as much of a raw IQ, but they have refined and cultivated practices, habits, systems that are tried and true, and they use those systems over and over again, and they develop a level of expertise with those systems that allow them to accomplish things that are impossible for that raw IQ untrained person. And so I've become an incredible fan of cultivating systems, habits of the mind, processes that help accomplish things that would be impossible otherwise. The reality is, systems are incredibly powerful for accomplishing things. Systems are cognitive technologies. They're like tools for us. They allow us to accomplish things that would have been nearly impossible or entirely impossible without them. And so, yes, raw intelligence is a gift and it's powerful. But when paired with systems, it can do great things. And all of us, regardless of our level of intelligence, can accomplish much more with good habits and systems. I've also learned that competence almost always wins over credentials. As one who's worked in a lot of education environments, I hold education in high regard, both formal and informal learning. And what I've come to see and learn over and over and over again is that the number of letters behind your name is not what matters. What matters is what you have or have not learned. Have you cultivated the actual competence to accomplish something, to solve something, to think through something difficult, to create something that might not have existed otherwise? And while oftentimes the credentials can be an indicator of competence, they're not one and the same. People can achieve competence in many ways, sometimes formal, sometimes informal, sometimes a combination of both. And this is actually a lesson that I learned early on. I grew up for a number of years in a rural environment, and I got to know a lot of farmers. Many only had an 8th grade education, but they had the knowledge of an electrician, a plumber, a mechanic, carpentry, and many other skills. They were able to build things. They were able to accomplish things that would have been impossible for many other people. And that's because they took the time to cultivate the skills, to develop the competence in these different areas. And they learned how to learn, and they took that seriously. And the last one that I'll share in this video is that feedback is one of the most powerful tools for clear thinking and problem solving and decision making and even creativity. Those who learn how to receive feedback, those who seek feedback, learn faster. They learn more. They see and discover more than other people. There is a short list of some of the lessons that I've learned over the years just watching how people think in education environments, in different kinds of situations. I hope you find this useful. I look forward to your comments.